there folks, I believe I did a just kind of unboxing first impressions video of Aeon's End. This is going to be more of a review because I've played it a couple more times. Now, I played this one time and I was like, I don't get it. This isn't all that much fun. Then I played it a second time. I was like, okay, that was kind of fun. Then I played it a third time. I was like, oh man, that was pretty good. That was actually pretty good. So every time I've played this, I've enjoyed it more, and there was a rule that I figured out I was doing wrong that definitely changed the game and made me enjoy it quite a bit more. So if you enjoy deck building games, this may be a game for you to check out. This is a cooperative deck building game, which I think is super cool. You can play 1 to 4 players. It's a game that people really enjoy solo, and so if you're playing solo, which I have played solo, I would definitely recommend playing two-handed because there are some interactions between the characters. It's not that overwhelming or anything to play two hands, and so I'd recommend doing that. But if you're familiar with Dominion, that's the most popular deck building game that's got a lot of similarities. You've got a handful of different cards out here that you can purchase. You've got spell cards that you can play, and a lot of those will attack the big main boss. And so that's what you're trying to do in the game, is you're trying to beat that boss, and you've got some health marker thing. It's like it's got dials, it's got wheels, whatever, and so you're trying to get him down to 0. So there's 4 different bosses in this, and they're all different. I think that's super fun. You've got a lot of replayability in just this one box and those 4 bosses, and there's 8 characters you can play, which is super cool. I've not nearly played with all of them, and so I think that's awesome. They've each got their own unique little abilities, and their starting decks are mostly similar with some changes, so I think that's just super fun. I like that. There's a lot of cards out in the middle that you can purchase and change, so you can really create a lot of different games, again, like Dominion. I think that's really, really cool. There's a bunch of expansions for this, so you can grow that as well, but you've got the spell cards that you're basically going to be using throughout the game to lower the health of the main enemy, or as the game goes on, there's going to be cards that come out that are going to be his little minions that you're going to want to get out of the way, because those guys do bad stuff pretty fast as well. So that's pretty fun. I enjoy that. You've also got relic cards, which do some different little things. There's some relic cards that will affect your teammate in positive ways, some that will allow you to purchase other stuff, some that will allow you to do just some different fun things that I really like. And there's the gym cards, which you're purchasing the gym cards to be able to purchase more powerful cards out there. So that's going to be like buying the higher money cards in Dominion. That's a currency. I guess it's Aether is maybe what it's called, I think. And one thing that's cool, I was watching another review, and a guy was saying that what he enjoyed is in Dominion, you can get to a point where you don't know what to do with your money. It's like, I don't think I want to do anything with my money. And that never really happens in Aeon's End, because you get to a point of maybe you don't want to buy another card out there, but you always have these little charges that you can put out, and you have 4 different portals that's where you play your spells. And so you've got 4 of them, but only one of them starts open. They're breaches is what they're called. And so you can put a spell on a breach to cast it next time. If you only have 1 open, you can't use the next one. And so you have to turn these, and you spend that currency to open those so you can play more spells, do more damage. So you can always put your money into that or into these charges that like charge up your special ability. One of them is once you get however many on there, you get to your one of your teammates gets to draw 4 cards. That is a really, really powerful thing. There's a bunch of different ones that are just really cool, really neat. And so I think the depth of this game is nice. It starts out pretty simple, but then there was definitely the second game that I played against one of the other bosses. I was like, this is really hard. Like, am I supposed to really be able to beat this? Did I play this terribly? And I think I did. And then I played another game and I was able to beat him. And so I really enjoy it. I think it's got a nice a nice balance to it. You've got the health of Gravehold, which is basically your health, your city's health, the last city on Earth. And then each player has their own individual health, and so obviously you're trying to manage that. There's some cards that come out that say discard some spells that are prepped, or take this many damage to yourself, or take this many damage to Gravehold. And so you've got some decisions of like, do we discard this much of our money, or do we trash this much of whatever, or do we take this thing? Which one's better, which one's worse for the situation we're in? So I really liked that. I'm excited to play more of this, get more into it. I think it was a really fun solo game, honestly, but I think it would be even more fun as a cooperative game up to 4. I think the changes that they make also are pretty nice too, to where I think it plays best as a 2-player game. I think I've heard that. I think I've seen that. And so that's what I would probably recommend. But it does play up to 4. I think 3 and 4 would play great. But that's just kind of my thoughts on only playing it still a handful of times. So that is my review. I enjoyed it. If you enjoy Dominion, you enjoy deck building, I think you will enjoy this game. It's definitely got different artwork than Dominion. You can see what kind of thing you're seeing. So if you're not a fan of that, I think the gameplay is still super fun. This isn't something I'm necessarily drawn to. Still pretty fun. Do enjoy it. I know a lot of people really enjoy the artwork as well. But definitely I love deck building, and I love cooperative games. And so putting those two together, my favorite game is Marvel Legendary, and this definitely has a lot of things that are similar to it. They play very differently when you get nitpicky, but really, really enjoy this game. So that is Aeon's End. Would recommend it if you enjoy deck building. Would recommend it if you're curious about a cooperative deck building game in particular. So there is Aeon's End, my review of that bad boy. Hopefully that gives you guys a nice little touch and a taste of what it is, what it does, and why it may or may not be right for you. Thanks.